This argument is not adequate.
この意見は十分ではない。
This argument is not adequate. We made adequate use of that.
私たちはそれを十分に生かした。
We made adequate use of that. We will progress with it work with adequate caution.
私たちは十分な注意を持ってその作業を進める。
We will progress with it work with adequate caution. We have an adequate supply of that.
私たちはそれの十分な在庫があります。
We have an adequate supply of that. Is the water supply adequate?
水の供給は足りていますか？
Is the water supply adequate? He's adequate to the job.
彼はその仕事に適任だ。
He's adequate to the job. We had adequate food for a week's journey.
1週間の旅行に十分な食料を持った。
We had adequate food for a week's journey. I want a salary adequate to support my family.
家族を養えるだけの給料が欲しい。
I want a salary adequate to support my family. My ability is not adequate to the task.
この仕事には私の学力が不十分だ。
My ability is not adequate to the task. This dictionary is just adequate for my needs.
この辞書は私にはちょうどいい。
This dictionary is just adequate for my needs. Is your salary adequate to support your family?
あなたの給料は家族を養うのに十分ですか？
Is your salary adequate to support your family? Do they get an adequate supply of food?
彼らには十分な食べ物の供給がありますか？
Do they get an adequate supply of food? Do you have an adequate amount of sleep?
適切な睡眠をとっていますか？
Do you have an adequate amount of sleep? She is inadequate to the task.
彼女はその仕事には不向きだ。
She is inadequate to the task. He is adequate to the post.
彼はそのポストに適任だ。
He is adequate to the post. Do you have adequate money for the trip?
旅行に十分なお金がありますか？
Do you have adequate money for the trip? The National Health Service was far from adequate.
国の保健業務は十分というには程遠かった。
The National Health Service was far from adequate. We have adequate inventories of the product to meet local demand.
地方の需要に応えるのに十分な製品の在庫がある。
We have adequate inventories of the product to meet local demand. The room is adequate for our needs.
部屋は私たちのニーズに十分です。
The room is adequate for our needs. This salary is not adequate for the cost of living in the city.
この給与はこの都市の生活費に十分ではありません。
This salary is not adequate for the cost of living in the city. The training provided was adequate, but I feel more practice is needed.
提供されたトレーニングは十分でしたが、もっと練習が必要だと思います。
The training provided was adequate, but I feel more practice is needed.